What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You saw the title. We're talking 15 Middle Eastern fragrances that I think are totally worth checking out if you're looking to smell great and not spend a lot of money. Now look, some of these are clones, some of these are originals, some of these are inspired with a twist, but they all smell really good. They all perform really good. They all do not cost a lot of money, and that's very important in this economy. A lot of people are enjoying the hobby, but they don't want to spend a ton to get some bang for their buck, and that's definitely the case here. We've got some good stuff to talk about, so stay tuned. Starting with one that is the definition of hype from viewers. This is one that, honestly, I haven't spent a ton of time with, but I can tell you firsthand, if you like Aether, Fragrance World's Liquid Broom, it definitely does the trick. I don't feel the same way about Azure Oud in the same line. I don't think it's as good, close enough to Oud Maracuja to where I don't need the original. And I know some disagree with me, but hey, that's how I feel. But I do agree with everybody on this one. Pretty spot on, creamy vanilla woods, a hint of spice. You get that orange blossom feel, but it's not real scratchy and rough around the edges like orange blossom can be sometimes. It's a beautiful woody vanilla fragrance, and I mean, it's just, woody vanilla dry downs aren't the most original thing to do these days, but when it works, it works. The quality here is actually pretty good. It's super affordable. They sell out very quick when places get them in stock. I'm not even sure if it's in stock in the link down below yet because I haven't done all that stuff. We're recording raw footage right now. But Liquid Broom from Fragrance World. If you're looking to smell incredible, if you like woody vanilla fragrances, a little hint of spice, a lot of character, super likable, you want to check out Fragrance World's Liquid Broom. Now one from Afnan that kind of a little bit of Aqua Sensuale Blue, kind of a little bit of this and that. It's not a clone, but it does have a lot of character. It's aquatic, it's powdery and fresh with some florals and some greens, musk and woods. It is Afnan Highness VI or Highness Blue because it's got the blue bottle. This you don't want to drop on your bare foot either. This is one heavy ass bottle. And the quality here is actually superb. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do a shorts video in a little bit. I'm wearing this today because I was debating what am I gonna wear today, and this was in the running and pulling the cap and sniffing it. What the hell? I'm gonna wear this today. I love my blue fragrances, and this is another entrance into the fray that has elements of a bunch of different fragrances. That's what happens with blue fragrances. It's a very redundant genre. But it kind of offers its own thing with quality and not just being some Ambroxan bomb, which I do think they have a little bit of Ambroxan in here, but the quality comes across rather good. A lot of nuance. It's not just a basic tonka bean fragrance, which a lot of these blues are just centered around tonka bean these days. It's totally worth checking out. It's on the upper end of affordable, like you're talking $50, $60 range as far as Afnan. That's kind of pricey, but man, it's some of their best stuff. It's Afnan Highness VI or Highness Blue. Next is a brand that's really made a splash in the last year and a half, I would say, to 2 years. And they're very affordable. This is my favorite of the bunch that I've tried. We're talking about Arwa from the brand Amed Al Majbi. This one, when I had got a few of them from Fragrance Buy, from this brand, this one stood tall as my favorite. I wore it immediately that day. This is a warm, woody, powdered citrus fragrance. I mean, super warm, but rich, fruity citrus smell at the top. And like I said, powdery. Doesn't sound like it really goes well with it, but it's like a powdered, woody smell. It's not that it's loads of sweetness. But man, this stuff, and for saying powder, being dominant, quite the masculine fragrance, really good performer. Doesn't remind me of anything. I don't think it's cloning anything as far as I know. This is an absolute banger. I mean, there's no other better word for it. We've kind of made it slang within the fragrance community. Banger mean good. Basically, the easiest way to look at that. Banger equals really good. And this, indeed, is really good. I wore it not that long ago. A few weeks ago, I threw it into the rotation. The last time I talked about it. Because it's one of those fragrances, when you pull the cap and sniff it, you want to wear the damn thing. And it's Amed Al Majbi. This is Arwa. In my opinion, the best Hawas Ice. So you get everything that's good about the original, at least in my opinion. You get that fresh, aquatic, fruity smell. You lose some of the spice, you gain some mint. And that's what I like about it. Phenomenal performance. This is more minty Invictus Aqua than anything else. I do like Hawas Black. It just smells nothing like Hawas. Doesn't have that same Invictus type DNA. Whereas this is, like I said, minty Invictus Aqua is the easiest way to look at this one. Phenomenal performer too. This is a straight up beast. High compliment factor. Super easy to like. Fresh for the cold weather if you want it to be, because it's got that kind of performance. It'll cut through the cold. Those of you in the cooler climates, high in the mountains and such, where you get a lot of snow, you're in the mood for something fresh. That mint just adds another layer to the fruity, sweet, aquatic DNA that you get from this one. And they're super affordable these days. Rasasi really put out some good stuff, and the Hawas line as a whole, all three of them, are absolutely great. Again, this Rasasi Hawas Ice. Admittedly, this is not for everyone. It does lean feminine. It smells like fruit punch and rose. And you may not like that, but boy, it took my breath away the first time I smelled it. This is from Lattafa. This is Bade'e Oud Sublime. This is a great performer. This is lychee and apple. Gives it this beautiful fruit punch, fruity smell with some rose and a bit of jasmine. I believe there's a little bit of saffron in here, but it doesn't really make it all that spicy. If anything, it just warms it up a touch. Again, this one leans a little to the feminine side, but any guys that like rose, this is a fruity, fresh type of rose. Very fun, vibrant, and playful. Ladies, I can't imagine you not liking this if you like fruity floral fragrances, which my wife is a huge fan. That's our favorite olfactive profile. And this is one that can be had for around $30-ish. Great performer in the realm of Kayali's Juicy Apple, Eden Juicy Apple or something like that. I've never smelled the original, nor do I really need to, because this just smells great. Just judging as an individual, if you want a very bright, fresh, juicy rose fragrance, you can't go wrong here with Bade'e Oud Sublime. We've got another offering here from Fragrance World. For you greenly lovers, it's pretty hard to beat. This is Fragrance World's French Avenue Aether. So the only difference I've ever noticed with this, so the first time I tested it was on test strips, virtually identical. Then when I got it on skin, okay, cheap cedar wood. That's the outlier that, yeah, there's a difference, but not a grand difference. That's the only difference I can really tell. Fresh, bright green apple, fresh greens. Aside from that sharp cedar note that does subside after a few minutes into a more fresh, soft wood accord, it's super close to Greenlee. Again, not the exact same experience. Always, if you want the exact same experience of the original, you need the original. That's just the way it works. But if you want a good enough and a really close, pretty good enough type of experience, Fragrance World's got you covered here. Aether's one of the better ones to come out in the last 2 years from them as far as I'm concerned. If you're looking for something highly versatile, super attractive, crowd-pleasing, high compliment factor type of stuff, check out Aether from French Avenue and Fragrance World. Another one definitely leans to the feminine side, but fun, playful, those fun, casual night out type of settings. That's where Khair Pistachio comes in from Paris Corner. Another one that's kind of a Kayali type of twist. This is Yum Pistachio Gelato, but this is a lot fresher. You do get that whipped cream, cotton candy kind of thing going. You have a little bit of rum that gives you this warm, sweet, boozy tone at the top. A minty freshness from some geranium. And of course that pistachio gelato, that minty ice cream type of feel, a little bit of a nutty nuance in the top that adds a creaminess and enhances the creaminess, I think is what I prefer to say here. It's just fun. It's uplifting. It's not for everyone. Like I said, it definitely leans to the feminine side. Not every guy is going to like this. If you're the type that likes the old school barbershop aftershave smells and stuff, you're going to think this is the girliest fragrance on the damn planet. Guys that wear that stuff and only that. You're a Stetson guy, this ain't for you, okay? But if you're the type that likes more of the modern sweet fragrances, you don't mind some florals and such, you'll probably really like this. You can go into it with an open mind and just enjoy the playfulness, and it smells good. It just flat out smells good. And any ladies watching this, oh, yeah, you'll enjoy this. I'm pretty confident. I highly doubt you would like this, especially the girly girl types that like the fun fragrances. Nothing serious here. You might want to check out Khair Pistachio. Now, speaking of sweet, this is superior to its original, in my opinion. It is literally the original plus coffee. We're talking about Lattafa's Kamra Kawa. This is a beast performer. And the coffee really stands out here. It gives that extra layer, that extra something I didn't even know was missing from Khamrah until this came out. It's so much better. It's more of a syrupy type of sweetness. You get that warm amber benzoin type of feel. There's a fresh, bright kind of fizziness, if you will, a bit effervescence in the top. And there's even like this coconutty, crystallized, marshmallowy kind of sweetness that goes on that I always got from the start in Khamrah. I still smell it in Kamra Kawa. It literally smells like they added a coffee note to the original and didn't change anything else. Still a monster performer. You don't need a lot of sprays. It's warm, sweet, cozy, very much a come hither type of fragrance, perfectly unisex. If anything, the coffee adds more of a masculine tone to it, but still not some super masculine fragrance. These are actually hitting Burlingtons. You can find them easily online. Just great, just flat out great, especially for the cooler weather. Again, that's Lattafa's Kamra Kawa. This next one from Armaf is kind of in the vein of Herbapora, but it's not exactly Herbapora. This is more of a dry, woody element that is enhanced greatly. This Cambodian oud is what they're calling it. Definitely not a natural oud smell, but gives this dry, woody facet to that fruity, fresh, almost tropical-like feel of Herbapora. This is Armaf's Clubd Nuit Oud. One of the best of this rendition of bottle because of the cap, the juice color, everything. I just love the aesthetic to it versus the typical Clubd Nuit Intense Man fragrances that are all that metallic chromed black type of chromed graphite, something like that. They're not just straight black. Some of them are straight up black. Ever since the first time I smelled this, I was like, yes, that's the one. Because I had never smelled Herbapora prior to getting this. Now I have Herbapora and a bunch of other things that smell like Herbapora. Twist from niche companies like Montal's Herbal Aquatica, which is adds mint and aquatics to it. Whereas this, I prefer the twists. I like having twists more so than like we're duping this. I prefer to have a twist. And this has a nice twist that offers, like I said, this sharp, not so much sharp, but slightly sharp, but dry, almost pencil shaving like woody nuance to the fragrance. Enhances a little bit of, there's a little bit more sweetness here than just the fruity nuances offered for the Herbapora DNA. But man, you just can't go wrong here. This is such a good fragrance from them. I gotta say, it's one of the better options in the Clubd Nuit line from Armaf. And if you get an opportunity to try it, you very much should, especially if you like that Herbapora DNA but want more woods to it. Here you go. Clubd Nuit Oud. Now, from a lesser-known brand called Grandeur, we have one, we're back in that Invictus DNA, but not something often inspired or twisted. We're talking about Pacific Woods, which is more like Invictus Intense of all things, with a nice prevalent powdered nuance added to it. So that sweet, whiskey, bubblegum aquatic, which is what Invictus Intense is, with a great magnetic cap, first and foremost, a wonderful atomizer. My ceiling fan is just going to push it down, so I'm not even going to bother spraying it. But honest to God, I really feel this way. This was my favorite in the haul that I had from this brand. I think this is better than Invictus Intense, and it's because of the powderiness. It adds something I didn't even know it needed to the fragrance's DNA, because Invictus Intense, while it's always been a good fragrance, there's no bad Invictus. I'm sorry. I'll argue with anybody. There's no bad Invictus. You either like Invictus or you don't. The Intense was always kind of the dark horse. It's the first dark bottle in the line, and it's kind of forgotten. They're like, it smells too much like the original. It's redundant. Because they add a nice whiskey accord that sweetens it up, and they did strengthen it. They did intensify it a bit. But here, I don't even know what to attribute that powdery nuance. It's very prominent, start to finish. I don't know what to say is doing it in the fragrance, but whatever is doing it, I'm glad it's there. Because it is superior. We're going to give it a little quick spritz. Pressurized atomizer. It really is some good stuff. Didn't mean to hit the mic. This is so much better than the original. It really is. And it's cheap. It's like 20 bucks. It's like 20 bucks. You get a pressurized atomizer, a really thick base glass bottle. Really nice bottle. The cap's nothing special, but it is magnetic. Not strong enough to pick the fragrance up by, but it's still a magnetic cap. The presentation overall is really good, but the fragrance is really, really good. That's the most important thing. The great performer, 8+ hours. Loud, warm, boozy, sweet, a little aquatic, and powdery. Love it. Pacific Woods from Grandeur. One that I haven't sprayed in a while myself that still gets a lot of love. Another really good option from Afnan. This is 9 AM Dive. This is their blue fragrance, the blue of blues, kind of the Frankenstein blue fragrance. You'll get Y, you'll get Bleu de Chanel, you'll get a hint of Afternoon Swim. There's a little bit of everything going on here. It's fresh. There's ginger to spice things up. You've got an amber, woody base. With the citruses, it's a little aquatic. It's very fresh. And it's a good performer. It's cheap. It's all the things you would want. Super inviting, highly versatile fragrance. Just some good stuff. Again, shame on me. I haven't worn it in a while. I have way more than what you can see behind me. The shelves extend further beyond that way, further beyond that way. There's a bunch here. There's stuff on the desk over there. Got a lot of fragrances, so a lot of cool stuff. The blessing and the burden of reviewing fragrances all the time is some good stuff's going to sit. And it's very unfortunate. This needs to get in my rotation this week because after gathering these fragrances, there's a lot of really good stuff. Hence why I wanted to talk about them in this topic in the first place. Really good stuff that I haven't worn in a while myself, and this is one of the main issues, is this fragrance needs to be sprayed on my skin. And if I wasn't already going to roll with Afnan Highness Blue today, I might have to roll with this. But before the weekend hits, because it is Wednesday at the recording of this, I am wearing this by the end of the week, because yes, it is that good. I gave it a 9 out of 10 the first time I smelled it, because when it comes to blues, this is one of the better ones to come out in the last 5 years. So again, it's shame on me. I just have too many fragrances and get new stuff all the time, but just looking for that one blue fragrance. This encompasses pretty much everything that's good about blues in one fragrance. It's Afnan's 9 a.m. Dive. Now this is one that I got recently that I fell head over heels in love with. This is more of a dupe of Kilian's Blue Moon Ginger Splash. This is Paris Corner's Moscow Mule. I love this one. I've been wearing it on and off for the last few weeks. I've done a full review on this one recently. It's citruses, it's spiced greens, mint green and ginger. Gives this spice, minty green freshness with the citruses, a bit of woods and musk as it dries. It's mega, mega fresh. Average performance, gorgeous frosted bottle with like baby blue juice. It's pretty. It just looks cool to me. Aesthetically pleasing, I guess would be the best way to put this. But it's also an incredible scent, an average performer. It's mega fresh. You can rock this to the gym. You could rock this to work, casually out on a hot day. Doesn't matter, it just works. It smells really good. It's super fresh. And it has a little bit of depth and nuance where it's not just a basic linear fragrance that's the same from start to finish. I haven't tried the original, and clearly I need to because the clone is that good. It's Paris Corner's Moscow Mule. Now here's one that I've praised over the years as one of my favorite clones. It's one of the more accurate clones from Fragrance World. This is F Le Parfum. This is an obvious dupe for Y Le Parfum, and it's pretty much spot on. Now, it's a little bit creamier in the dry down. It's a little bit spicier in the top, but it's just enhancement on accords that are already prominent and present in the original. Aldehydes, grapefruit, sweet, spicy, musky, creamy. Beautiful. Great performer. 8-hour fragrance, easy. It's a dead ringer. I've worn this fragrance more than the original. It's just a dead ringer. It's kind of strange. Why gravitate to the clone? I have the original. Normally, my philosophy is the total opposite. But it's the same thing. It's literally like I have 100 ml, 160 ml total in bottle sizes between the original and the clone. And it's a dead ringer. Again, I'm normally not here for the dead ringers. I want the twists and the inspirations. This is just so impressive when it comes to some that are cloning designers because there's no quality gap. When we're talking high-end luxury niche, like the last one we talked about, I'm confident, even though I love Moscow Mule, I'm confident the Kilian original is a much higher quality fragrance than the oils Paris Corner is using. Yves Saint Laurent's Y line, synthetic blues, no, they're not using vastly superior oils to what Fragrance World's getting. And you smell it. It's a dead ringer. Now look, Y Le Parfum, not the most expensive fragrance out there. 60 mls will run you around $80. That's what I paid. This will run you around $25, $30. Less than half the price and more juice might be worth it for you. And it's Fragrance World's F Le Parfum. Now, if you like Invictus Victory Elixir and maybe you wish it had a little less patchouli, maybe you don't like all that earthiness. You like everything else about it, but you're like, it's just too much patchouli. Well, Collage Perfumes has you covered with Epoque Artistique, because it's very similar. It's basically a cleaner twist, less earthy twist on Invictus Victory Elixir. pretty spot on. You have that smoked vanilla smell. You lose out a little, you know, decent amount of that earthiness. There's still patchouli here, but it's not as earthy. It's not as dirty and green. It's just an overall beautiful smell. Now look, if you have Invictus Victory Elixir, wildly redundant. You don't need it. But if you don't have that, like I said, for the person that smelled it and was like, it's just too much patchouli, this is probably the one. Like if you love the opening and as it dried down, you're like, I just turned into a bunch of patchouli. Some people feel that way, you know. Some people don't like Neroli. Some people don't like Iris. You know, there's that certain note that if it's too dominant, you'd be like, pass. Can't do it. Don't like it. For some people, earthy patchouli can be that. So that's the main people that I would encourage to give this a try. If maybe you really like the opening, just wish it wouldn't have developed into a dirty patchouli, you might want to check out Collage Perfumes Epoque Artistique. And last but not least, from Al Haramain in their Portfolio series. Now this is the priciest of the fragrances in the video, but when you compare it to what it's cloning, because it is a clone, it's superior. Now Tom Ford's Neroli Portofino is iconic. It's not the best performer. Neroli Canvas is. This is a monster. The quality of oils used here is very, very good. Their Portfolio series is excellent. You're looking around $80 for these from discounters. If you like Neroli, I mentioned Neroli a minute ago. Some people don't like Neroli. If you like Neroli, it's one of the best you can buy because you're going to get quality. You're going to get a super familiar, popular, likable DNA. You're going to get great, great performance. Beastly type of stuff for the Neroli Portofino DNA. Again, soapy white floral, orange flower, that Neroli smell, citruses, fresh greens, soft woods, a light musk. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. I would not buy Neroli Portofino. I would recommend getting this over it. Because there's not really a quality gap. There's a vast performance gap and a pretty vast price gap. So keep that in mind. Again, if you want the original experience, 99.9% of the time I'm going to say we'll go with the original. Because even in this case, yeah, it's still, the original is the original for a reason. But if you want the closest, that outperforms and is far less expensive with really good quality, on par quality, check out Al Haramain's Portfolio series. This is Neroli Canvas. Well, that was the 15 that I wanted to cover with you today. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. Of these 15, what have you tried? What are you maybe interested in checking out? Like I said before, I'll try to have links for everything down in the video description. If you want to check them out, they might have a few things through YouTube's affiliate program that maybe pops up through their stuff if you want to check it out through there. But again, check the video description box. I'll try to have links for everything if you're interested in checking them out. If not, all good. I'm glad you checked out the video. I appreciate you stopping by. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe before you leave. Catch you on the next one. Y'all have a good one.